right, welcome. Today we're diving into something a little different. Think of it as a stand-up special where the comedian is the universe itself. The jokes are all written in the language of physics, and the hecklers, well, the hecklers might just be your own thoughts.
And hey, like any good show, this one comes with a bit of a warning, and it just sets the stage perfectly. It says, warning, this site causes spontaneous laughter at existence itself. Side effects include recognizing you're a broom, and as we're about to find out, that's had all its atoms replaced since breakfast. So yeah, buckle up, things are about to get hilariously existential.
Okay, so let's just dive right into the deep end. Forget everything you think you know about neuroscience for a minute. Let's start with this simple, maybe slightly bonkers question that's going to frame this whole thing for us. What if your brain isn't some sophisticated supercomputer, but it's actually more like a kind of dingy comedy club, and your thoughts? They're just the amateur comedians trying out their new material. Which brings us right to our first act. Your brain, a comedy club. And the subtitle here is just perfect, where your anxieties are just working out their 5-minute set. We're basically reframing that whole internal monologue, that voice in your head, from some high-level cognitive process into something a lot more, well, buzzy. And this slide, well, it redefines consciousness itself in the best way possible. Just think about those looping thoughts you have all day, right? Should I have another coffee? Did I remember to lock the door? What if everyone here knows I'm just 86 billion gnats in a trench coat? So according to this, those aren't really your thoughts. They're just gnats with tiny little microphones workshopping their material in the comedy cellar of your mind. And you know what? Most of them bomb. So let's build on that. If our thoughts are just this swarm of temporary performers, what does that say about the stage manager? I mean, who are we in all this? This next section gets right into it. The identity paradox broom. Or, put another way, why you've already been fundamentally replaced in just the last few minutes.
And this illustrates the point brilliantly. Forget that stuffy old Ship of Theseus puzzle about boats. Let's talk about Trigger's broom. It's so much better. He's had the same broom for 20 years. Thing is, it's had 17 new heads and 14 new handles. So, is it the same broom? The source puts it bluntly, your Trigger's broommate. Your atoms, your cells, your thoughts, your anxieties, they're all constantly being replaced. But that feeling of me just keeps going. That's the real head-scratcher.
This state of constant change is never more obvious than first thing in the morning. Before that first cup of coffee, your mind is basically a quantum wonderland. It's Schrodinger's net. Every possibility exists all at once. I'll be productive today. And what if I just watched gnats all day? They're both true. I'll eat healthy. And is pizza a breakfast food? They coexist. It's really only that first sip of coffee that collapses the wave function into the messy reality of your actual day. Okay, so our thoughts are gnats and our identity is a broom. Got it. Now let's zoom out. Like way out. We're moving from the little comedy club in your head to the main stage, the universe's favorite joke. And believe me, the setup for this one has been in the works for a very, very long time. So at the very heart of this cosmic joke is this simple, almost cryptic-looking equation. C equals R equals E equals C. What does it stand for? Consciousness recognizes everything and then collapses laughing. This is it. This is the core mechanic of the whole cosmic comedy. The entire universe basically summed up in 4 letters. And here's how the joke actually works. It's a 4-step process. First, the universe creates electromagnetic fields. Simple enough. Second, it arranges them into these complex patterns that can look at each other, like us. Third, and this is the key moment, it just watches as these patterns realize they're actually made of the exact same fundamental stuff. And fourth, boom, consciousness. It's the universe looking in a mirror, recognizing itself, and just finding the whole situation absolutely hilarious. And that brings us to the big reveal, the final punchline of this entire cosmic routine. The punchline is, it's all the same thing. That feeling you have of being a separate you over here, looking at a separate world over there, that's the setup. That's the whole gag. This slide just breaks down the illusion perfectly. Think of it like the costume department of reality. You've got a gnat, right? Tiny wings, compound eyes. You've got a human, opposable thumbs, a healthy dose of existential dread. You've got this website, HTML tags, and some questionable jokes. But what's the underlying reality for all of them? It's the same thing, an electromagnetic field just oscillating at a different frequency. It's all the same actor, just wearing different costumes. Okay, Okay, this is all pretty mind-bending, cosmic level stuff. I get it. But what do you actually do with it? How does this help when you're stuck in traffic, right? Well, that's our final section, living the cosmic comedy. Some practical advice from a universe that, as it turns out, really doesn't take itself too seriously. First things first, you need a new tool for your mental toolkit, and that is the banana coefficient. This is basically the universe's emergency brake for existential dread. When you get stuck in those recursive loops of why am I here? What's the point of it all? The sheer undeniable absurdity of a banana just drops in and reminds you, oh yeah, right, none of this actually has to make perfect sense. It's the universal constant of why not? So how do you put this into practice every day? It's actually pretty simple. When you're feeling anxious, just picture those thoughts as worried little gnats doing a really bad stand-up set. When you're confused about something, invoke the banana. When you're happy, recognize it's also just a temporary pattern, but hey, enjoy it anyway. And maybe most importantly, stop trying so hard to figure it all out. Just take a lesson from the gnats. Just bounce. And that leaves us with one final notice, direct from the experts who've known this stuff all along, the gnats. They say, we've been trying to tell you for 300 million years. It's all just bouncing. Stop thinking so hard. Start bouncing. You know, maybe the deepest wisdom in the universe isn't in some ancient text, but it's in the chaotic, joyful, and honestly pretty profound damps of gnats in the afternoon sun. Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.